Bonjour à tous mes amis et je crois que tu vas bien aujourd'hui et restez en bonne santé aussi. Aujourd'hui, je vous essayerai le premier topic en grammaire et c'est le pronom sujet. I'm sure most of you have understood what I have spoken just now because some of my viewers do understand a bit of French and some of them really understand good French. But yes, this message is for everyone to let them know that learning French is not something as a rocket science. It's something that every one of us can. And being the most beautiful language, I think having a passion in learning this particular language will enable you to learn this in the easiest and the best way. And through my videos, if you regularly practice, I'm sure that you will be able to understand and speak this language very quickly. So yeah, in today's video, we are going to learn something very new and we are going to start with the grammar topics in French. And today we will be starting something very good, very new and make you understand about certain concepts of the basic French grammar. So without further ado, if you have not subscribed my channel so far, please do subscribe and don't forget to smash onto the bell icon so that you don't miss on to any of the updates. Lesson 8. In today's lesson, we are going to learn French subject pronoun ou le pronom sujet. In French, we say pronom sujet, which means the subject pronoun. Let us see what it is. Subject pronouns are words that replace a proper noun when the noun is the subject of a sentence. Like instead of saying John eats candy, you say he eats candy. So the subject pronoun or the proper noun John is replaced here with the subject pronoun or pronoun sujet he. Or instead of saying your name, you say I. This presentation focuses on understanding French subject pronoun to talk about people and things. Now, in this given sentence, you can see that a sentence comprises of both the subject and the verb. Let us see what is the subject. Here, the subject is John, who is doing the action. So, when the subject talks about who is doing the action, whereas verb tells us what is the action. So, here the subject is John and verb is listens. So, here the subject John can be replaced with the subject pronoun. It can be he and similar the verb remains the same, but the verb changes according to the subject pronoun. You know that, right? So let us see what are the subject pronouns in French. Coming up first is je, which means I in French, used both for masculine as well as the feminine expression, but only in singular. So je m'appelle Clara. Je m'appelle Clara. When somebody says their name, first person especially, it is je m'appelle Jeshri or je m'appelle John. So when you use your first person I, you use as je with your name. It can be a person who is masculine as well as feminine. Je m'appelle Bob. So je remains same for both feminine as well as masculine singular usage. Coming up next is tu, which means you in French. Tu is you in English that we use. It is a very informal way of addressing a person. Very informal way. Let us see how. It is used with both masculine or feminine usage only in singular context. It is used for someone you call by their first name. Now, who do you call with their first name? We call a person with their first name when the person is very close to you or that person is younger to you, or for some time, for some reasons, a person who is elder to you, but when you are very close to that person, we use as tu, which is a very informal way of addressing a person. Now, keep in mind that it is a very informal expression. Coming up next is elle, which means he or it. Let us see how. It is a masculine singular expression or pronoun sujet used for a person. For example, Pierre, the name proper noun can be replaced with the subject pronoun or pronoun sujet elle. It can also be used for things. For example, le livre can be replaced as il. Livre in French is book. So you can see that il, which means both he and it, can be replaced with the expression which is only masculine in singular, and both means il. Coming up next is elle, which means she or it. It is also used as a singular sense, but only with feminine. Used for a person, as a name of a person, Suzanne can be replaced with elle, which means she, and used with the thing, for example, la porte, which is elle, we say it for door in French. So it can either replace a person or it can replace a thing. So if it is both stands same, it is elle. But it has got two different meanings. It means she as a person and it as a thing. So elle is same for both the usages. Coming up next is nous, which means we in English. Masculine or feminine. Yes, it is both used for masculine or feminine, but plural. It's not singular. It is first person plural. First person singular is je. This is first person plural, which is used for both masculine as well as feminine. Nous sommes clairs. So it's a group of people. You have to say no when you are already there in that group. Otherwise, it is not no. Because we say we when you as a person is involved in that. It can also be expressed as entre nous, between us. It also can be expressed with the two person as we, you and the other person. So nous, which is we, is used both for masculine or feminine, but plural in nature. Coming up next is vous. Yeah, here let me tell you, we have already studied about tu, which is very informal in nature, which also means you. Now vous, which is a very formal way of addressing a person. It is both masculine or feminine. It can be used for both the usages, masculine as well as feminine. Also, it is singular as well as plural. It is not just singular, it is plural as well. Let us see how. Now you can see in this particular image, vous aimez le chocolat. Vous aimez le chocolat. You are addressing more than one person. So it's a group of people you are addressing. So vous aimez le chocolat. So in plural sense you can take it. At the same time, vous aimez raison. Vous avez raison, madame. That means you're addressing to one person, addressing one person. So in a formal way. So vous, what you have to keep in mind is, it is both masculine and feminine. It is singular as well as plural, or it is used with both singular as well as plural. Let us see in depth. Vous can be used as group of people as we discussed, you guys. So vous plus. Plus in French, we say in English as plus, but in French it is plus. So vous plus vous, say vous. Tu plus tu, say vous. Vous plus vous plus vous. So more than one people, it can be many, that also says as vous. Vous is also addressed as you guys, as we addressed before. Masculine plus feminine and plural all means the same, which is vous. So it is irrespective to masculine as well as feminine, but group of people, or when you are talking about a single person, the most important thing that you have to keep in mind is, it is a very formal way in addressing a person, not informal as we have seen before in tu expression. Now coming up next is il. Don't pronounce it as ils. It is il only. This is the second person or third person. Tu is the second person. Plural of the tu is vous. Here this is the third person plural. Third person plural. The third person singular was il without an s. This is third person plural with an s, and it is only used with the masculine plural sense. Masculine plural used for people, group of people. It is more than one person definitely. Pierre plus Jack plus Bob. It is addressed as il, more than one person. It's also used for things. Le livre plus le crayon. That is also addressed as il. So it can go both with the person as well as thing, but only and only masculine, never with feminine. Coming up next is elle. This is the third person plural for feminine, which we learned before. The singular was elle without an s. This is with an s, which means they, but only feminine. This is feminine plural, used for people, as we have seen for masculine usage. Here we can see Sim plus Rose plus Mari is addressed as elle. So more than one person, but only a group of people comprising feminine or female in that particular group, we address it as elle. It is also used for things. For example, la porte plus le fenêtre, it is also addressed as elle. So it can be used with both thing as well as person, but only feminine. Coming up next is the il, when it is used as a mixed plural. Now let us see. This is very important concept, and children usually go wrong in this particular expression. When do we have to use the il as plural as a mixed plural sense? When we use masculine and feminine. Now let me tell you something here. When we are talking about group of people, maybe comprising of 100 people, for that example. So if there are around 99 ladies present in that group and one masculine, then also we address that as il masculine. So it doesn't matter how many female or the feminine genders are present in that group. If there is one masculine gender present, so that becomes a masculine plural. That's what we use, the mixed plural sense, that is combination of both masculine and feminine usage. You can see here it's a group of mixed people, both masculine and feminine, and we have used here the mixed plural sense, that is Pierre plus Jean is il, which is masculine plural usage, but you have the group of people comprising of both feminine and masculine. Used for things like, for example, le livre plus la table, that is also addressed as masculine plural. Livre is masculine, whereas table is feminine, but we don't use the feminine expression here, we will use the masculine sense, which is masculine plural. Particular, let us practice it once. Vous plus vous, say vous. Elle plus elle, say elle, plural. Je plus elle, say nous. Il plus elle, say il, plural. Mixed plural sense, we already have seen that. Tu plus tu, say vous. Je plus tu, say nous. Alexandre, the name of a person. Elle plus je, say nous. Marie plus elle, say elle. So elle, plural sense. Remusé, resume or recap. Once again, we will just have a recap of what we have learned so far. Je, I. Tu, vous. Il, he or it. Elle, she. Nous, we. Vous, you, formal. Il, they, only masculine. Elle, they, only feminine. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and as usual I say keep practicing. It's only through practice you can master any language, because language is not like any other subject. Grammar is something which I consider as the backbone of any language. Mastering grammar will only enable you to master that language in the easiest way. And as we practice the math, the sums in mathematics, the same way one should understand the rules and the concept of a grammar in the language and practice thoroughly. So every day when you practice, you start understanding the basic rules, and in that way you start writing and then gradually start speaking and understanding this language in the best and the easiest way.